So I paid retail price for everything you're about to see here today. Whether that was because I bought it when it first came out, which is going to be the case with the overwhelming majority of these, or in some instances, they just really never popped up on discounters. You know, that can also happen, and maybe they're out of stock often. Maybe they're on discounters, but they're actually more expensive on said discounters instead of retail, which is something that does go on. And so I just bought retail price to actually save money. Whatever the case may be, I paid full price. I didn't get a discount on any of these, and I don't regret that one bit. Because as you guys know, a lot of times when it comes to new releases, if you wait around a bit, you can get them for a discount. Sometimes that discount can be steep. It can be in upwards of saving 50% off of that retail price in some instances. Maybe more, maybe a bit less, but you can save yourself a lot of money sometimes. But these fragrances here are all so good that they were worth the upfront higher cost for me, right? I really would have been kicking myself if I waited around for these, if I had that ability to look forward into time or look back in time or whatever. So I'm glad I made the decisions that I did, and I bought these now because I've been able to enjoy them a lot right out of the gate, and I don't care that I ended up paying more. These are that good to me. I will link these down below, and I also encourage you to check out my community tab where I'm posting deals every single day, multiple times a day. If you want to save some money on fragrances, that's the place to be. Get subscribed for just that reason alone. Trying to help you as much as I can to show you good deals, to bring you rare and discontinued stuff that may come into stock. So make sure you're checking that out. Bookmark that page, get subscribed. Now we're going to start off with the full video. This one is going to be MANCERA Intense CEDRAT BOISE. So I was stalking the internet for weeks before this finally became available. Actually, probably for months I was looking, honestly, because this was an instance where it was announced, you know, it popped up on a couple websites, not to where you could buy it, but to where you could read about it, or at least here in the US, and that was it. You know, couldn't buy it anywhere here. And so every single day I was checking the internet, checking all over the place. And finally one day this showed up at Saks Fifth Avenue online. Just by some stroke of luck, I was able to catch that and I purchased it. And luckily I was one of the lucky few that ended up actually getting it before it went out of stock and got back ordered and all that stuff. I paid the full retail price plus shipping and tax. Is going to be a bit over $200 or something like that. I actually can't remember for sure what it was. I think these normally go for what, 180, and this was maybe 210. Honestly, I can't remember. It's going to be a bit more expensive though. Now, this is the original DNA, but a little bit more rich and strong, and you know, somehow even more refined. I love the intense version. You even get a little bit of oud in here, which is a nice twist. This, to me, is just kind of it, right? And it's an extrait de parfum, heavily concentrated. It's just everything I'm looking for in CEDRAT BOISE, but then somehow they made it even better. Love this one, and I do not regret one single bit that I paid retail. In fact, I would pay more than retail for this. That's how much I like it. Kind of a similar deal with Gentleman Reserve Privé here by Givenchy, where it was announced and I got my my eyes on the note breakdown and I was like, all right, I've got to get my hands on this one. Same thing, just couldn't find it anywhere yet until it showed up actually on the official Givenchy website, I believe is where it was. And they only had the like 60 ml bottle this size in stock. And so I pulled the trigger right away. This one's got iris, but it also has whiskey, chestnut, vanilla, all of that stuff. It is just kind of a boozy take on the Gentleman Eau de Parfum type of deal. And it's another thing where I got this one in, I smelled it on camera, first impression, same with the MANCERA. You can watch my initial reactions. And immediately I was like, all right, now this is something special here. I don't regret paying retail. And I also don't regret that I ended up, you know, having to settle with a smaller bottle, right? I preferably will... most likely I will probably never run through this anyway, or at least it'd take me a long time, even though I do love how it smells, but I like having the 100 mils. It just makes me feel safe, you know. But hey, you know, I do not regret it one bit. This stuff here is worth its retail price just 10 times over. It's kind of an interesting one. It is Paco Rabanne Invictus Victory, the kind of strange looking 150 milliliter bottle. This one's got amber, it's got leather, vanilla, tonka bean, all of that stuff. It's a really kind of a curveball in the Invictus line because it's not your typical bubblegummy kind of ambroxany aquatic type of deal like you get from really most of the Invictus flankers. It's sweeter and a little bit richer and has a little bit more of a kind of uniqueness going on. Now it is still going to be in the realm of your typical men's sweet fragrance with the notes I just listed off, right? There's a ton of fragrances out there with this type of backbone and DNA. But at the end of the day, we are talking an Invictus flanker. We're talking a release from Paco Rabanne. They're going to keep it mass pleasing. And I think this is a nice change of pace from the normal Invictus flankers. And I did pay retail for it, of course. You know, I bought it when it first came out. And it might have been one of those situations where I was buying it from overseas and I probably ended up paying actually more than retail. And I really don't regret that. I like this one a lot. And besides my beloved Invictus Aqua 2016, this is probably my favorite flanker out of all of them. It's actually really good. Now this next one here, we have Prada Luna Rossa Black. So this is one of those scents that has always been a little bit elusive on the discount gray market platforms. You know, it would come in stock on discounters, all the main ones, but a lot of times it would be like right at retail or super close to retail or something along those lines. Never really discounted. Whereas there, at one point, you could get Carbon from the same line for about like $45, $50, which is, you know, pretty good discount off a retail price. Never the case with this one. Lately, it's been out of stock on all discounters. I think the rumor is that this one's discontinued. I'll do my best to link it down below for you so you can kind of get in while you can. The point is, it's a really nice scent that I did end up paying retail price for. It's got amber and it's got tonka bean. It's really all you need to know. It's what it's all about. Very powdery, very dusty. But it's so good. It's kind of simplistic, but it's done in a really nice way. And it's sad to see this one go. So I do encourage you to get a backup bottle, get a bottle while you can, and it's definitely worth that retail price. Now I'm not telling you to go out there and pay $200 for this one on the inflated market, but retail price, definitely worth it. Kind of like Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Parfum. Now, this one here was a situation where I did pay actually a little bit more than retail, but then it popped up on Joma Shop for $65, which is below retail. And so, you know, it was just a timing thing. That type of stuff happens. It's not a big deal. The point is, this is so good that I wasn't even really upset about it, that I couldn't save that amount of money. Because to me, it's worth what I paid. It's worth what it goes for at retail. You know, it's worth around the $100 range. Really is. The quality, the performance, the scent profile. It smells like a $100 fragrance. It performs like one. It has the quality of one. I'm cool with that price. But the fact that you can get this one for $64.99 for a 100 ml makes it just an unbeatable steal. Now, this one has that kind of standard Bleu Noir DNA, but with a good focus on iris, sweetening it up, making it a little bit more powdery. It's a really nice take. It's still going to be the freshest of all of the main iris fragrances. I'm talking Gentleman Eau de Parfum, Uomo Intense by Valentino, and Dior Homme Intense, all of those. It smells similar, but it's still the freshest one. But it's a nice addition if you just want kind of the utmost wearable scent. It's a great everyday iris scent with a bit of sweetness. Super nice stuff. Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum. So, you know, they've been kind of amping things up here, starting to bring things into the signature line. Of course, this started out as Ombre Leather 16 in the Private Blend line, and then they discontinued it. They brought Ombre Leather to life in the signature line, and now they have Ombre Leather Parfum. So really kind of going crazy here and ramping things up, which I'm all for, by the way. This one, of course, has leather, but it also has a little bit of a tobacco note in here, which I find to be interesting. Pick up on hints of it in the dry down. Now, the Parfum and the original, to me, it kind of can go hand in hand. I like the Parfum because of how it wears on my skin, but the Eau de Parfum is also really good. The point is, I actually paid retail for both of those. I'm just featuring the Parfum here for just the fact that I do really like it as well, and I don't regret paying retail for this one bit. I think it's great. Quality is nice, performance is good. Just really a solid leather scent that's very wearable and mass pleasing. This one is pretty much brand new, hot off the press. It is Ralph's Club Parfum by Ralph Lauren. Yeah, I love how this one turned out. Did a first impressions, and I've been wearing it, testing it ever since then. I've been wasting no time. And I just really think that this is incredible. You know, it still does have similarities to the original, which I was hoping for, but they really did a good job of moving it in a true parfum direction, adding some richness like cardamom, spiciness. You're getting some vetiver in here. It just smells amazing with the aromatics coming through in the mid, like the lavender sage going on there. And the fact that it is a true parfum and it wears like one and it performs like one is also a really nice touch. Now, I paid $140 for this, plus shipping and tax. Retail is the $140 price point, and I do not feel bad about that at all. Now, there was a point where with the original Ralph's Club, I wouldn't have been so happy with that retail purchase. At this point now, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not going to be saving all that much. But, you know, when the original initially came out, I wasn't super in love with it. But this one pretty much had me right off the bat, and I don't regret it one bit. Same with this one, Light Blue Forever by Dolce & Gabbana. It's got that signature grapefruit note, has some violet leaf giving off a watery smell, ozonic notes kind of giving it this crisp, airy lightness, and of course just a whole bunch of musk. But it really is all about that grapefruit. You know, you get that right off the rip. As soon as you spray this one on or in the air or on a tester strip, you get that super strong, potent grapefruit. And then from there, it just develops into the other notes that I featured there. A good amount of musk and that sort of thing. A little bit of a watery feel, which makes it kind of fit into the light blue lineup after all. Ultimately, it's unique, and that's what I love about it. The light blue line was really going in kind of a boring backwards direction to me, but they brought it back to life here with this one. I paid the retail price for it when it first dropped, which was, you know, whatever, $80 plus shipping tax, all that stuff. Probably came out to close to $100 because I paid for overnight shipping. And I still to this day do not regret that one single bit. It's worth it every penny. I bought this one as soon as it came out, and I was not expecting it, but I was very excited. It's Philipp Plein No Limits Super Fresh. So I was a really big fan of the original, and I was just doing some you know, browsing on the internet one day and looking at some fragrances, and all of a sudden I was on No Limits, and I was searching, and No Limits Super Fresh popped up on the Philipp Plein website. So I bought it there retail, which I don't know, $119 I believe is what it was. Now you can get this for like, what is it, $59 for 100 ml full pres and like $45 for a tester, somewhere around in there. I'll link it down below. So big savings on this now. And actually same with the original. You can get that one for around that same pricing structure, which is a good deal off that retail price. But again, I did pay full retail, and I am not sad about that one single bit. I mean, it's got white chocolate, leather, vanilla, like a bourbon vanilla, spicy notes, sea notes because it's the Eau Fresh. If you smelled the original, this is literally, easiest way to put it, a fresher version. No surprise there, but they did a good job of still maintaining that DNA, but just making it a bit easier to pull off overall. We're going to end this one with a Chanel because you really only have the option to pay retail for Chanels. Every great once in a while, you may be able to snag one for a discount, but don't expect to be saving, you know, I don't know, $30, $40, even $20. Sometimes discounters will get them in. Sometimes it'll be a couple bucks below retail, and you can get around some of the other tax shipping stuff, and maybe you save a couple $5, $10 sometimes. Now, sure, there are times maybe on Facebook groups where you can save significantly more, but most people doing your shopping on discounters and websites, you're basically looking at retail or a couple dollars off. And so I just bought this directly from Chanel. That's how I bought my Bleu de Chanels. That's how I bought a good majority of them. I got like Allure Homme Extreme back from Notino back in the day. Same with Allure Homme Sport. But I've also spent a lot on the Chanel website. You get nice packaging and all that stuff. And, you know, kind of it's just the way to go sometimes. So you're not actually paying more on certain discounters. But this one here, did buy from Chanel directly. I have several bottles of this one actually, and I do not regret that. Not that I have much of a choice, like I mentioned, but you know, you could buy a Chanel and it wouldn't be for you, and then therefore you regretted paying that retail price. You might have even regretted buying it at all. For me, that's not the case, really, with all of them. But the reason why I bring up Edition Blanche is because I saw the hype, and for the longest time I was just on the fence. I'm like, you know, I got these other ones. Do I really need this? Lemon, yeah, sure. Lemon meringue pie is kind of the big thing that it's compared to. And when I got this in and I smelled it, I'm like, okay, I understand. And even now, that zesty lemon sweetness, it's very summer gourmand. It is really kind of a good scent here. It really lives up to its hype, and I really like it a lot. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fragrances that I paid full retail price for, and I have not an ounce of regret in me. I will link these down below so that hopefully you don't have to pay retail for most of these here, and you can save a little bit of money. Use those links. Check out the community tab. I'm posting deals there every day. Get subscribed. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.